Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Chase Ink Business Cash Credit Card, doing a review of the Chase Ink Business Cash Card. Is it worth it for you to get started with what is honestly regarded as one of the best 5x or 5% cashback credit cards when it comes to Chase's lineup, or really any kind of credit card out there in general? So that's what we're going to be taking a look at here in today's video. Of course, if you do want to check out the Chase Ink Business Cash Card, I do have referral links linked down below in the video description. It really helps out to support the channel. Without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the Chase Ink Business Cash credit card. Now, taking a look at the Ink Business Cash, of course, it's first important to understand that it does have no annual fee. So this is one of the best no annual fee business credit cards. I actually recently picked up this card as well on their limited time offer, which currently, and it does actually say offer ending soon. So if you're watching this video now, be sure pick up that limited time sign up bonus or welcome bonus when you can, if it's still available. And that's currently $900 in bonus cashback after spending $6,000 in purchases in the first 3 months after account opening. Normally, that would only be $750. Now, this is also rewarded in the form of Ultimate Rewards points, so that would be 90,000 UR points, or 75,000 UR points traditionally. Now, the Ink Business Cash Card is one of the best 5% cashback earning cards. Now, that cashback is given to you, as I mentioned, with the welcome bonus, in the form of Ultimate Rewards points, which can also be transferred to other cards for travel points, which can be redeemed with travel partners at outsized value if you have other credit cards. You can also opt to just redeem it purely as cash back, and that's what makes this one of the best business credit cards, because you can really get a lot of cash back on the different categories that they have, and the maximizing your spend. Getting into the different categories of cashback and how you can actually earn with this card from Chase is they have multiple different 5% cashback categories, as well as a couple of 2% categories, and then 1% on all other purchases that you make with this card. So it can be just a one-stop shop card if you're even just looking as a brand new beginner business owner. Maybe you're a sole proprietor, you're looking to get your first business card or first business credit card. This could even be a good option just because it covers a lot of different categories of spend that you may have within your business. Diving into the categories of spend and where you can actually earn from this card and why it's so valuable for so many people in their credit card setup, whether it be with Chase or just all together credit cards, is that you get 5% cash back on the first $25,000 spent in combined purchases at office supply stores. And that also is pretty lenient there in terms of office supply stores. Now, there are specific merchants, but there are ways that you can kind of maximize the spend at those merchants, which we'll get into a little bit later in this video. You also have internet, so basically that's going to be any kind of internet provider, whether you have Frontier or Verizon home internet, or anything that's going to be in that internet category. If you're paying any type of internet, you have cable, so this is going to be cable and television. We'll get into the specific merchants that actually code for these as well in this video and a little bit later, as well as phone services. Those are companies like T-Mobile, Verizon again, AT&T, and this is for each account anniversary year. So you are capped on $25,000 of spend. But if we do the math here, just a quick little calculation on $25,000 spent at 5x, or 5% cashback or 5x, that's going to be 125,000 UR points on the table that you could get if you do actually spend that $25,000 on all those categories in the year. So that is quite a lot of Ultimate Rewards points that you could rack up with this card, the Business Cash Card, if you do utilize it to its fullest potential. Now, I get that not necessarily everybody is going to be spending $25,000 a year or $2,000 a month practically, but up to you, just giving you the maximum that you can earn there. And in terms of those 2% cashback categories, that looks like, again, a limit on the first $25,000 spent. Combined purchases at gas stations and restaurants each account anniversary year. Now, in my opinion, the restaurants one isn't so great just because, you could pretty much get 3% cash back on almost any other kind of Chase personal credit card. If you have maybe the Freedom Unlimited or the Freedom Flex, or even the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you're going to get 3% on restaurants on pretty much every other Chase personal card. So I wouldn't necessarily use this one for restaurants, especially considering you can pool the points together on the on the rewards portal. But for gas stations, it's not bad, because otherwise you wouldn't really be earning on gas stations just within the Chase ecosystem at least. And then again, it's 1% on everything else. Now, in terms of the specific merchants and other ways that you can actually earn, because this card actually does come with a couple additional hidden 5% cashback categories that you wouldn't necessarily think actually count for 5% cash back. So that includes a lot of these merchants here listed on this Reddit page that has been basically the Bible for figuring out what's going to count and earn 5%. So like I mentioned, you're going to get the traditional obvious merchants for cell phones or internet. If you have home internet with some of these providers, like with AT&T or T-Mobile, I know some of them offer home internet as well. But if you're going to be spending on cell phones, that's going to be Boost Mobile, Verizon. Xfinity might be for cable television. And then for those office supply stores, it's going to be Staples, Office Max. Now, you can also buy and purchase gift cards through Staples and Office Max in order to essentially kind of hit that 5% on both of those office supply stores. Certain times of the month, they do have different promotions going on where it's not going to be a fee to purchase those gift cards. So that's something else that you could, worth looking into if you want to maximize your cash back, or if you need to buy a new computer or something else, maybe print job or some other printing that you need to do for your business. You could go through Staples and Office Max as well in order to code as 5%. Now, a couple other niche merchants, like they mentioned, that you wouldn't necessarily be aware that also count for the Ink Cash talking about this card is also this huge list. Now, I'll leave the link to this page in the video description in case things change, things get updated. If you want to check this list out yourself, I'll leave a link to this page in the video description. But essentially, you have a lot of other streaming services that actually count. So honestly, in my opinion, you basically could add streaming services to this list of what else earns 5%, because a lot of the streaming services actually code with Chase under the cable category. So I've even found myself that YouTube channel memberships do code as 5% under the cable and paid television services category that Chase seems to code it with. So hey, I'm not arguing with that. I'll take the extra 5% cash back on more areas. And for a lot of other streaming services do actually earn 5%. A lot of popular ones, at least for me, would be like Disney Plus. You've also got Hulu. Netflix is a pretty big one. You also have Spotify does also count. You got Vudu if you're buying movies through there. Now, unfortunately, a couple of the ones that will not earn 5% is anything Apple related. For some reason, Apple maybe used to count, doesn't count anymore. And then if you did do HBO Max through like the Hulu Disney bundle, then that would count as a streaming service and could also count as 5%. So again, YouTube, I did get a YouTube channel membership to code. Again, sometimes codes 5, sometimes it doesn't. So I think with YouTube, it depends on how you purchase it. If you purchase it through their website directly, maybe if you need to purchase a YouTube subscription, if you purchase it through their website, then that can count and code. Sometimes it does. It just depends on how you purchase it as to the way it's going to show up. I would say if you purchase it on a computer, it's going to code properly. If you purchase it anything on an Apple device, that's typically where things are not necessarily going to count. You need to go through the merchant's actual purchasing like site itself, not through the Apple subscription. Because Apple kind of like has their own way of coding things. If you purchase it through Apple directly on like an Apple device, it's not necessarily going to count for that streaming service. But if you're purchasing it through the merchant directly, this was something that Disney actually kind of cut people buying through Apple, and then now they make them go through the Disney website. It will code properly if you do it through the actual merchant's website instead of Apple. So just keep that in mind. But basically, in this case, you can practically add streaming services. Netflix, if I didn't already mention already, these are a lot of popular streaming services that you're probably paying for that you can also earn 5% with this card, which is pretty nifty. One other hidden category that I honestly didn't even really know about too much until after getting the card is that Chase also has a partnership with Lyft. Now, Lyft, you can also get 5% and earn on your rides with your Chase card. Now, traditionally, if you had maybe the Freedom cards, right? I mentioned the Freedom Unlimited, the Freedom Flex. Those are the Chase personal cards. That's only going to get you 2%. But the Chase Ink cards, including the Chase Ink Business Cash Card, the focus of today's video, that actually does earn 5x or total points or 5% total cash back on every ride with Lyft using your Chase Ink Business Cash Card. As you can see, Chase Ink Business Cash. Now, this also counts for, the Ink Business Unlimited. This also counts for the Ink Business Premier card. So any of these cards, right, Chase Ink Cash, Business Cash, essentially if you have any of these cards, it's going to earn at least through September 2027. Now, at the time of making this video, Chase has continuously extended that deadline. I've seen in the past. So historically, that will probably continue to get extended. As long as Chase still continues their partnership directly with Lyft, then it'll continue to count as a 5% category. That's not necessarily mentioned or advertised too much, but again, Lyft does advertise it a lot. So there you go, an extra 5% category on Lyft rides only. So this is only going to count for Lyft rides specifically. This does not count for all rideshare services. It is just their direct partnership with Lyft. So do keep that in mind. But that is another extra category worth mentioning. Now, the Ink Business Cash Card overall is honestly one of the best no annual fee business credit cards for all these different categories of spend that you can hit in your overall credit card setup. Now, I did allude to the fact that you could also transfer these points and combine them with other cards. So essentially, the Chase Ink Business Cash can earn you those Ultimate Rewards points. And once you earn those points, you can also opt to either do it as cash back, or you could transfer it to another card such as the Ink Business Preferred card. I also did a review on this recently on the channel if you want to check that out. But this card is a travel card, and this one, on the other hand, does include the one-to-one points transfers, which then you can transfer out these same points that you would then basically earn the 5% category. You maximize earning on the 5% cashback categories like we mentioned here. And then you can transfer that to the Ink Business Preferred and then transfer it again to maybe any kind of hotel travel partners such as World of Hyatt. You've also got airline travel partners such as Southwest or United or Virgin or wherever you want to transfer your points for travel partners. So that's another option that you have with your points, that you can kind of maximize the redemption rates and maybe get more value than just what you traditionally would with cashback. But also, if you value cashback higher, you can also just use this as a cashback card at a 1-to-1 points ratio. So 1 point is equal to basically like however much points is going to be the same as a dollar. So the 90,000 points is going to be $900. So again, that point to dollar ratio is going to be good here, so you can do that and use it as cashback as well alternatively. So if you don't want to go the travel route, you don't have to with this card. And that's kind of another nice flexibility point as to why I do like this card. Now, in terms of other business specific features that this card does come with, is you do also get the ability as a Chase, they say as a Chase card member, this is really for Chase Ink cards and business owners, is that they do automatically check you for a credit line increase every 6 months or sooner. So that is something nice, especially if you're trying to build your business credit, is that they're going to automatically do that for you. You can also monitor and protect your business with account alerts, fraud detection, and purchase protection. Those are kind of the same things that are going to be on pretty much any kind of Chase card. You also have employee cards at no additional cost. So if you do have employees that you want to set individual spending limits, that can also help you earn rewards. Maybe if you want to use this as a fuel card or something, you're getting that 2% on gas, not too shabby. And you can create those employee cards to give out to your employees to hit those rewards even faster. Another thing to keep in mind as well is it does include these business cash flow reports that you can see insights into the spending based on the user. So if you have those business cards given to employees, you can also keep track of that here within their cash flow reports and see the spending based on the categories. And if you are just a sole proprietor getting this card just for yourself, this can also help you separate business and personal expenses, which can alleviate things when it comes tax time and actually, doing your bookkeeping software or simplifying your accounting. You can integrate, of course, your Chase Ink card with, things like QuickBooks and whatnot, but having these purchases on a separate card can make it easier to track those expenses, maintain your records for tax reporting, and of course, other business needs, essentially, basically as a business owner. So overall, this card is a pretty good card, a pretty sweet card I would recommend to a lot of people. getting started in their Chase credit card setup. If you have a small business, even if you have a side hustle of some sort and you're earning extra money, this could be a good card to go for, just because it can really kind of bolster your earnings across a lot of traditionally business-based category spending that you wouldn't necessarily have on most other personal cards. So that can be a really good benefit to this card as well. Again, it comes with a lot of those categories as we outlined here in today's video. And guys, if you found this video helpful, or if you'd like to check out the Ink Business Cash Card, then you can go ahead and check out that first link down below in the video description. It'll take you over to the Ink Business Cash, where you can get signed up, again, as a referral link and a thank you to the making of today's video. Guys, if you found this video helpful or enjoyed it, then also be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that's all for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.